Hello my dear learners. In this video I am going to discuss about how to use World Development Indicators, which means WDI data, using R platform and R BlueSky statistics software. Both these platforms are completely free and it is easy to use. World Development Indicator is one of the very popular database where you can download the data for different countries and analyze for your case study or any research project. So I'm going to start with one of the project that I'm currently working with my students, and this is the learning objective that we are going to talk about the hyperinflation in Zimbabwe. Robert Mugabe thrives, economy suffers. So in Zimbabwe, we know that during the Robert Mugabe's time, there was a very higher inflation rate. The higher inflation rate touches almost 100,000%, which is unparalleled to any other economy, and it is amazing that in at that time how Zimbabwean people survived, because with the higher price level it is very difficult to survive as a country and as an economy. However, somehow Zimbabwe managed to recover the situation. But at that time, what was the current condition, or what was the condition of the economy, we would like to know through this research, small research project. So here I ask my students to work with the different types of inflation indices. There are different type of indices like inflation, we have GDP deflator, right? So we are going to talk about those in detail theoretically. Then we will discuss the reason behind hyperinflation. Hyperinflation meaning that when there is a higher inflation, at the same time higher unemployment rate and lower economic growth, at that time we say hyperinflation. So we discuss about that theoretically. Same goes to some causes about hyperinflation in Zimbabwe. So we'd like to discuss that as well. And then we'll talk about how hyperinflation was taken care of by the Central Bank of Zimbabwe. So that was the part of the theoretical concept, and I believe that we can do very easily with your analysis. Anyone who are watching this video, they can do it because it is an R learning project. This type of project you find in different type of universities. They will ask you to do this such kind of activities. The most important part that is going to be discussed in this video is the World Development Indicator. Use the World Development Indicator and find the GDP, real GDP, inflation, CPI, unemployment rate data over 2000-2020 for Zimbabwe using JAPS, Blue Sky or R software to plot your data and interpret the data trend of GDP, inflation, unemployment rate in Zimbabwe during this year. So we're talking about how GDP, inflation and CPI, these indicators, and their trend at during that time between 2000 to 2020. So whenever you are talking about this time, basically we are going to see what is the pattern of our uh, economic indicators like GDP, inflation, CPI and unemployment rate. So we're going to talk about that, and you'd like to analyze what is the GDP trend, what is the inflation trend, where there is an ups and downs, so why that ups and downs happen. All those information you will get from this type of data analysis. So that is the important part, and now we are going to see how we can do it by using World Development Indicator. Now my dear learners, in order to go World Development Indicators, you'd like to search in the Google World Development Indicators. Once you search World Development Indicators, this will appear in your computer screen. Click this one, it will direct you to this website, Data Bank World Development Indicators. Okay, now you can see that there are several variables like country, database and series and time, right? So we're going to talk about that. I'm just going to refresh it because I already. Okay, my dear learners, now we are going to see the country we are selecting here, Zimbabwe, right? The country is Zimbabwe. Search this country, you get the Zimbabwe, right? And then my dear learners, go to the series. So what are the set we are going to use? We're going to use GDP, inflation, and unemployment rate, right? So we'd like to see all those variables from 2000 to 2020. That was the time period the assignment was asking you, right? The project is asking you, correct? So we're going to see, first we say GDP. So GDP, and remember we are going to see the real GDP of the country. Okay, so real GDP is called the GDP valued at constant price. Okay, so let's see what is the value here. You see, GDP constant 2015 US dollar. This is the one that you'd like to recognize. You can see here. I'm going to share with my pen so that you can see. This is the indicator. Okay, so GDP constant 2015 US dollars. So you pick this variable for this project. Okay, now you already picked it, right? Now next you go to the inflation. So you just write inflation in the search box. Okay, so you write inflation in the search box. Now you can find that inflation, there are three type of indices. As you know, in the example I ask you that what are the indices of inflation, or different types of inflation. Here it says inflation consumer prices, inflation GDP deflator. Okay, you select inflation consumer prices. Okay, now the next one we're going to talk about is the unemployment rate. Okay, so unemployment, see, unemployment rate. Okay, my dear learners, here the unemployment values are coming out. Okay, so what value you'd like to take? Unemployment total as a percentage of labor force, this one. Okay, so if I highlight the one that we are now targeting, is if I change the color, then you'll see this one. Okay, unemployment rate total is a percentage of labor force. Okay, this is the variable that we are looking for. Unemployment rate total percentage of total labor force. Okay, this is the variable that we are going to pick for this case study or research. Okay, now we already picked that one. Okay, now we go to the time. So what was our time? Our time starts from 2020 2000 to 2020, right? You remember, that was our time period. So you select the time from 2000 to 2020. Okay, now you gradually select all those information that is located in this time period. So just pick those time that is mentioned in your case study or research in the R project, or you can say the virtual lab project. Okay, now these are the information that we required, and then we select apply changes. So once it select the apply changes, all the data that is required are already calculated inside your information. You see, these are the data set. So what you have to do, you just have to go to the download option. Here is the download option. Okay, if I just share you the main area of the download option, this is the download option. This is the download option. Okay, from that download option, okay, you can click and you'll see there are several options to download the file. So I will check CSV file, because R programming and BlueSky statistics are very easy to use CSV file. So go to the show folder, you can copy it. Okay, and then I'm going to use it in this particular file in my desktop. So let's say VLE, and then we go and paste it. Okay, now what we can do, you just extract the file, and these are the two Excel file or CSV file comes out, right? So first you open the first Excel file, this one, and the next one is the detailing of the information. Okay, detailing of the information. This is the detailing of the information, meaning that the variable itself is explaining here. So we don't need this one, we need the one that is required here. Okay, now my dear learners, one thing we have to do is make it as if we are working with a data for analysis. And how we can do that? First you open a new sheet. Okay, or you can open a new Excel file. I would suggest you open a new Excel file. Okay, and then you write down here year. Okay, so that is the year, and then you have, since the country is one Zimbabwe, so you don't need any other country, so real GDP. Okay, so your real GDP variable you write down like this, real GDP. Then you say inflation. Okay, inflation, that is the R project that we are going to talk about, the indicator. And then you have unemployment rate. Okay, unemployment rate. Okay, so this is your three variables and the year. Okay, now we are going to design it. How we are going to design it? Let's assume I would like to show you. First you write down the year. Okay, so what is the year? From starting from 2000, then we have 2001. Okay, 2001, and then gradually you write down all this information. Okay, now about the real GDP, go to the Excel file where real GDP is located in here. Okay, this is the real GDP. You see the real GDP. Okay, now you select the whole row up until 2020, copy the whole thing like this, and then in the new Excel file go and paste it, like you use a transpose option. Okay, you see transpose option, this is the option that you are going to pick, transpose. Now you have the GDP, and then make it a number, go and use it a number, so it becomes a full number. This is the real GDP value of Zimbabwe. Now I would recommend you to fulfill or populate all the information like this way. Okay, my dear learners, you can see here that I already populated the information, year, GDP. Okay, these are my variables, year, real GDP, inflation and unemployment rate. Don't worry about the missing value. Okay, we will sort this out later on, but at this moment these are the missing values. We don't bother about missing value at this moment. We know how to omit the missing values in R programming or blue sky, and that is the discussion of another video. But just copy and paste just like I showed, inflation and unemployment rate like this way. Okay, so you have year, real GDP, inflation, unemployment. Okay, so you have very good to go. Just save this one as your R project, or let's say any other name that you'd like to put. Okay, and then you can copy, and you can copy this one, R project, I mean you can save this one. Okay, save this file as CSV file. Okay, CSV file, remember, CSV file. Okay, and then save it. Okay, done, we have done our data. So this is our data from World Development Indicator. We know how to download the data, we know how to copy and paste, we know how to design it for this type of small R project for the beginners. Okay, now we go to the next phase. The next phase is go to the blue sky statistics. I have several videos on how to use blue sky statistics software for statistical analysis. Please have a look. Now this is the software completely free for those who are learning R programming at the same time without doing any coding. Okay, you don't need to do any coding. It's just a simple SPSS type software. So go to the blueskystatistics.com. I will share the link in the description box. So go to the blue sky statistics and then go to the blue sky statistics Windows 7, which is the version number. You can say any version is okay, the latest version or the version before that is fine. Okay, any version they would like to choose. If I go back, you will see there are several versions are there, but one that is suitable for you and your computer is okay. For example, blue sky statistics 10 version is already out. Okay, this one is very high software, I mean the megabyte is very big, the large size of the file. So if you want to avoid that file, go to the download for the previous versions, open source for 64 if it is a Windows, then go for the version 7.5. This one also has your Mac. Okay, if you click this one, it has Mac, and also you have to fill up your first name, last name, okay, your email ID, organizations, phone, country, and then use this code catch up like GECJ, something like that. You submit, and once you submit, it will direct you to the download page. Okay, and you just have to download that one from the blue sky statistics. Okay, so from the blue sky statistics, first you click the open source. If it is Windows, there are version like Mac and of course Linux. Okay, so Mac version also there. If you would like to use this one, click this one, same thing. Actually there is nothing. This is the Mac, this is the Windows. Okay, if you click this one, Windows, similarly you fill up all this information box and then click submit. It will direct you to the download page. Then click download, it will download, and once it downloads in your computer, it looks like something like this. Okay, it looks like this: Blue Sky Statistics open source. This is the file. Double click, install in your computer. Once it install in your computer, very straightforward way to install. The icon looks like this, the Blue Sky Statistics. Double click on that. Okay, the Blue Sky Statistics will open, and this will be very familiar and very easy to use software. Okay, now once it opens the Blue Sky Statistics, go to the file option. Okay, you can import data. Okay, or you can open data set. Okay, from the computer, like for example from desktop that we have saved our data. Remember, we have saved our data. So this is the data set, our project. Open it. Okay, and there you go, you have your all the information here: real GDP, inflation, unemployment rate. What are these variables? Like year is a numeric variable. Okay, and inflation and unemployment rate, it says data class factor, but you can always change. This is data type integer, so it's a class variable, is very okay. So you have the data set. What next? You have all the several options, but at this moment we just show the graphics. Okay, and if you want to add any, like for example if you would like to draw a histogram or bar diagram, for instance, if I want to say bar diagram. Okay, so bar chart, if I click the bar chart, okay, then there are some area that you would like to choose, but let's assume that we are going to simple use the graphics from the box plot, for example. Okay, so in the box plot, okay, if you just select the real GDP in the y-axis, or y-axis real GDP, and in the x-axis we would like to put year. Okay, and then okay, press OK. You see that there is a box plot. Okay, so this is a box plot. Now the next one I would like to share, you go to the graphics, go to the bar chart again. Okay, and then you use y variable real GDP, x variable, let's assume that year. Okay, and then press OK. You see the bar chart. Okay, so in the y-axis we have year, and the y-axis real GDP, and x-axis year. Okay, so this is the bar chart. Now you can always right click and copy it. Okay, and you can always paste it to your computer any place you would like to paste. Okay, for example here you would like to paste in your computer, just paste it. So this is the, and you can make it resize. Okay, this is also, it can be resizable. Okay, now you can run several plot, whatever you would like to use from graphics. There are several plot are there: frequency, distribution, mapping, line chart. Okay, if I go to line chart, I would like to say y-axis. Okay, year, and x-axis if we say real GDP. Let's press OK. You see this is the line chart of your Blue Sky Statistics. So this is how you can use the World Development Indicator data, download it, use the Blue Sky Statistics, and go and apply different type of graphics using different type of R programming plots, which is very easy. There is no coding. Pick and choose, and then you choose one by one variable, and then make it the output, copy it in your Word file, and explain it at your convenient way, and take help from your instructor. Okay, my dear learners, now I would like to see how we can do the same thing in R programming platform very easily. Okay, my dear learners, in R programming you need to install the R Studio. Okay, and then there is no need for downloading Excel file, going to the Blue Sky, all this hassle. Okay, you just download the R Studio and download and install the latest R version. Then you need to open the R script. Once you open the R script, this is the R script. Where is the R script is there? You can go, and this is R script. Click the R script, okay, and then it will open up. Okay, then what you can do, you see there are only 10 code you need to write to draw the same thing. Okay, you see, first install the package WDI. This is your World Development Indicator package. R is a package based software programming, so everything you need to install before doing anything, install the package. Then library WDI, meaning that you are asking R programming to use this WDI package for your data analysis for R platform, this environment. Okay, that's it, finish. These two already data set are inside the R programming. Now there is a search called the WDI search, which means there are several variables. There are 200 variables are there. What you have to do, search the GDP variable, okay, and make it as a table. Okay, so before table, I would suggest you to install another package called tidyverse. Install dot packages, okay, and then you write tidyverse, okay, and then this will redirect you to this new platform, I mean this code as table. And then use the WDI search inflation. Again, this is another variable that we are looking for, right? Remember, then another search from the data set WDI unemployment rate. All these things will be, just write down this code, follow my instruction, and then finally once you download and make it table, I'll show you how does this look like. Something like this, you see. I just make it a little bit larger so that you can easily see it. You see the unemployment rate indicator. This is the table, like indicator name and name, this one, okay, and indicator, okay, similar to the website that I have shared you, but R programming has already downloaded this for you in this platform. Okay, now you can see here that all these things are given. Now we are going to run and draw a nice little bar diagram. How? This is the function WDI, our indicator R. This is the value of the indicator. Remember, I shared you, this is the indicator that we are looking at in the R programming. Remember, I told you this one is your indicator value. For example, here you see that the GDP, this is the GDP value. So per capita GDP, you cannot write per capita GDP, you have to write this indicator value. Okay, R programming will understand this indicator value, not per capita GDP. You do not need to write this one, you need to write this one. Okay, now once you write all those information associated with the variable GDP, inflation, unemployment here, okay, then nothing more than that you have to do is um, make a data frame by table, tidyverse data frame, and then you run this whole thing. You can still use the renaming of all these variable, and then just finally you filter the country Zimbabwe, then ggplot, then aesthetic. These are the two variables that we are looking for. I mean, in y-axis year and x-axis CPI or GDP or unemployment rate, and then geom histogram is your diagram. That's it. Okay, follow this and you will easily draw a nice little diagram like this one. Okay, this one in the R programming language. So without downloading a single data, or without downloading anything like an Excel or CSV file or uploading in the system, R has downloaded everything for you, and then it actually draw the diagram for you. Okay, if you'd like to learn this more extensively, I would suggest you to go to this website. I will give you the link, Stephen V. Miller, grab World Bank data in R. This one I followed. I can share this one to your description box in our computer, in my video description box. Please follow this step and you will learn how to do it in the R programming platform. So either R programming or BlueSky, both are free, and you are free to use any platform to analyze your data using WDI, which means World Development Indicator. Thank you, my dear learners. I hope this video is useful for you. If it is useful, subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.